You know, I haven't even like completed a single Devil May Cry video game, but I like Dante a lot, so I still picked up the figure. So let me just go through my Devil May Cry experience first. I watched the anime, which is set between I think 2 and 3. That was enjoyable. I enjoyed the characters in there a lot. It was only like 13 episodes something. It was a good miniseries. I liked it. And of course I also played Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Dante's in that, and I enjoyed that game quite a lot. And also enjoyed Dante quite a lot, and I just think he's a really cool character. It was only last year when I decided to finally like try playing the actual Devil May Cry game. Now I am a huge Resident Evil fan. I like reading the lore. I played almost every single Resident Evil video game, including the more obscure like mobile phone ones, and even tried playing Gun Survivor. And yeah, I didn't hate it. I was playing the PC version, by the way, so the mouse control did help, but I might still go back and play that. That's how big of a Resident Evil fan I am. And since Resident Evil 4.1 did end up being Devil May Cry, I decided, okay, I like the character, I like what this not Resident Evil thing is. Finally decided to play it last year, so then first I tried playing it on the PS2 emulator, but because I couldn't get rid of the blurry effect on top of it, the filter, even though I upscaled it to like almost 4K resolution, it still looked like garbage. I was like, okay, fine, I'll just get the HD collection on PS3. And then the PS3 cutscenes were not syncing up with the audio. I was like, this is very distracting. And then so I went back to the PC, installed the HD collection that's for the PC. I was like, okay, this one works, this one actually looks good, I'm gonna play this. Played it for a bit, I was like, eh. And then people were like, okay, the later games are much better, but then I was like, but I kind of want to go through the first one first. Maybe I'll give it another shot, maybe play another hour of it, see if it clicks in with me. I'm just only defeated like the first boss, and like, well, mini boss even. It's not an actual boss, so that's how little I played it. But I still pre-ordered and bought this Devil May Cry figure because it looks really cool, and what they've done with it is also really cool. But more on that, well, now. It stands at just under 17 centimeters tall, or just under 7 inches. In terms of accessories, aside from the Relax or Spray open hands already attached to the figure, it comes with a pair of fists, a pair of gun holding hands, and a pair of sword holding hands. It also comes with 2 extra expressions, one kind of angry face that just kind of looks weird, and a smiley face that doesn't look quite like him as well. I like the idea of having these different faces, but they just don't look that good. At least not as good as his neutral expression. He also comes with a set of hair that is slightly shorter. Since I got the Deluxe edition, he comes with a lot more weapons than the regular one. In terms of difference, I'll just get a screen cap here and you can take a look yourself. Take a look at his accessories. He comes with 2 pistols. They're almost the same, but not quite. The molding is actually altered between them. One silver and one black, metallic black gun. Both of them have painted brown handles. Next up is a sawn-off shotgun. Looks pretty good. Wood bits are painted brown appropriately. Next up we have what I think is his most signature sword. Silver, metallic all over, with dark skeletons painted on the end, and the handle there with little spiky bits coming out. This one also has a removable bit here that will allow you to peg this onto Dante's back. Second is this sort of demon sword. The entire base is not transparent, so neither is this red gem on the end, it's just metallic red. But the rest of it is painted quite nicely, and this one also features a swappable piece here. Just take that, get the other piece from the box, plug that on, and you have another peg hole there to attach this sword to the back of Dante. The overall painting on this sword is pretty nice as well. The third sword we have here, now this one's actually a little bit more heavy than the other ones because of how big it is compared to the other ones, and also quite thick as well. It's a really big demon sword, and this one also has a bit of soft plastic to it, so there's no worry that these bits will break. And despite being soft plastic, it doesn't look it. It looks, well, metallic and swordish. Also like these metallic green and reds painted onto it, those are quite nice. You've got a red on this side, so both sides are a bit different. And the only hard plastic here is the handlebar, so we have hard plastic going through, and I can see it. Look, you got 1 piece there, 2 pieces, and 3 pieces glued onto this hard centerpiece to make it, a durable sword, a weapon thing that doesn't flop all over the place. Next up we have is this staff. This is hard plastic, so don't snap this, I guess. It's got metallic red and yellow painted on each end. I guess this is meant to be like it's on fire or something, or glowing. This is a pretty nice looking staff. Next up is this not nunchuck thing, this really big sort of triple weapon thing. I don't know what you call these. And got a bit of metallic purple painted on them. They look really nice. Like, these are very nicely produced weapons. We also have a set of triple nunchucks, or whatever you call it. Metal chain in the middle, that's great. And these three bits are painted the same, black on the bar, some bluish metallic silver on them. That looks pretty nice. And next up here we just have the back of the jacket as a hard piece of plastic, basically behind here somewhere, around here. There's a little bit of a hole that you can plug this into. If you don't use these to plug in, you can lift the jacket up, and on Dante's back is where you'll find this little peg. And that just goes through the jacket, and then you can plug on whatever sword you want to the back of Dante. Now this is okay, like as a function, but I'm not a fan of that. I wish it was the other way around. I don't know, it's just without the jacket, you're gonna have a weird peg hole thing on the back of him, and it's just gonna look a bit weird. Finally, in terms of accessories, also has this display stand. It's two pieces. It's got solid there and the shiny thing on top. It's pretty good. It's got the grid there, like it's tiles and stuff, so it's not just a stand. It actually looks like part of diorama. And this is interesting. The way it pegs in is a bit different. It's not like a whole peg or anything. It pegs into the side. There's some lines there, so watch out for those. And actually snaps in place, and you have a pretty solid stand. So just something a bit different. Not exactly, I'm not gonna say it's better or worse than the other ones, but it's nice seeing something just a bit more refreshing, I guess. Moving over to the figure itself, he's pretty awesome. I like the mix of a regular figure plus a wired jacket. That's pretty awesome. I like that when they do it with capes as well. And there's sort of other hidden features of this figure that I really like. Yeah, not only is this jacket pretty good, it's wide all the way through, and there are a few like thinner strips here and there that I do worry about breaking, but I'm not as worried with this as I would with a Mezco 112 figure, because Mezco 112, everything's fabric, everything's just stitched on, and so everything's worrying, whereas here, no, just these few bits, and they're not like integral to the suit or jacket at all, so that's pretty fine. So you have wires going through the bottom, front, the back here is also wires, and the collar is wires as well. So there's wires all over the place. And if you don't feel like him having the jacket, you can actually take this off quite easily. And you see that the figure underneath still makes sense. It's not as good without the jacket, but it's still a proper figure. So in some ways, you're getting two figures in one, because you can take the jacket off. Take a close look inside. Yeah, a lot of stitching and stuff. Not the nicest looking thing on the inside, but you're not going to see these parts for the most part, and the only ones that you're really going to see are these linings. And yeah, I do wish they would perhaps maybe iron something else onto this area to make it like more secure, hide the white, just have something like either black just to cover it up. So I'm not a fan of how this looks, but when it's on Dante, it's not so bad. So yeah. But anyway, the figure itself, the interesting thing is this shirt area is actually made out of soft plastic, so you can actually move it all the way out the way if you want to. You're not going to take that off. There's not going to be any muscle or anything underneath, but you can get it out the way if you needed to. See, that even doesn't hinder an articulation, because it's a shirt like it should be, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, I did say this does look very awkward without the jacket, so you're gonna have to either ignore that, or I don't know, if you photo shoot or animate with this, you're just gonna have to like key it out or something. And finally, another weird thing is with the upper arms. I guess just to, not hinder any articulations and stuff, these rubber bits do look a bit weird at a certain angle, so when you're posing him, you will have to, just deal with that. But overall, I think this is a very good looking figure. So aside from those nice features, we come down here, you can see the sleeves, there's a little bit of some rip patterns. This gray doesn't quite match that, but it's not a big deal, it's not too different, and for the most part, you're probably not going to see it, so it's fine. Like the little details of the straps on his arms there, and then moving down here to his legs, I like that this is for the most part covered, better than some other figures out there. The pants are molded quite nicely, and going down to the boots, these are painted and molded quite nicely as well. So moving over to articulation, he has a double joint there. In fact, this whole upper body bit, that's its own piece moving underneath the shirt, so that's awesome. It moves along with the neck, and it makes it look very, very natural. It's great. So down, up, sideways, sideways, full rotation here. Arm is this like a dumbbell joint, I think, so you can move forward, backwards, up. That's pretty good. You got like a armpit joint thing, full rotation there. double elbow joint. Does look a little bit awkward, but it is at the sleeve area, and you know, for the most part, if you have the jacket on, you won't really notice it too much. Rotating joint there. Hand is on a peg and swivel. Torso forward, sideways, sideways. Lots of movement there. Full rotation here. Leg goes forward. Whoa, way up forward. You can really sit down. Back and whoa, really, yep, open. Double knee joint. Oh, this looks a bit weird. Actually, no, that's a single knee joint, but that does look a little bit weird. Yeah, a bit weird. Not a fan of that. Rotating joint here. Foot goes down, foot up, sideways, sideways, and toe goes up. Toe doesn't go down. Doing some research online, I did see that there were previously Dante figures at roughly this scale from NECA. But that was from the age of, I guess, Dark Ages NECA. That was when NECA wasn't that good yet. Their figures looked a little bit off, and some of the decisions were a little bit off as well. It's definitely not the NECA today, where everything they released looks just amazing. I think NECA Toy Company, as of right now, 2020, is an amazing toy company, action figure company. They can almost do no wrong with their figure releases. They just look that good. But if you look at their old figure, I'll show a picture on here. What's wrong with that coat? You can't pose it, you can't change it. It's always pointing to the side. I mean, it's more like a McFarlane thing where you can have a statue with some articulation, but as an action figure, that's just stupid. And I've seen some videos online where people accepted that, like, well, you're always going to pose him in action pose anyway. Like, no, this looks stupid. But then now we have this one, and overall, the figure itself, I think, is pretty awesome. He, obviously, he's the more newer look, so he looks a little bit older. But he's not like got wrinkles or anything, so you can still sort of argue and stick him in with the earlier ages of Dante. The figure itself looks great. I like the softer plastic for the shirt so it doesn't hinder articulation, and he has hard plastic where it needs to be, like his arms and legs. Those are great as well. For the most part, the joints are hidden quite well, and when you take off the jacket, which you can do for a different look, he doesn't look too weird without the jacket. I mean, okay, his shoulders look a little bit off, but depending on how you pose him for the photos, he should look fine. And it's like you get two figures in one. You know, these are cheaper figures. One will either be just jacket alone or figure alone. And I think more figures can learn from this or do something like this. Like, if you go all cloth goods like Mezco, the entire figure is worrying, you're gonna break it or snap something, and articulation is also hindered. Or if you go the other way where it's just a plastic figure without any cloth or fabric goods, those figures still look great, but for people who don't want to see too many articulation or joints, then they're not going to enjoy those. And I've seen people, for example, with Star Wars figures or figures, they've been buying robes to cover it up, kind of like with the Black Series. But this here, this is like the best of both worlds. You got a solid figure and a jacket with wires inside it to help posing and also cover some of the joints, and that means you also get two figures in one because you can take off the jacket. It's a separate thing, separate look. I think that's really great. Another example of this I've seen is the DC Collectibles Joker Animated Series Expressions pack, where you can swap his arms out and remove the grey jacket if you want to, or put the grey jacket on, so you get, again, two figures in one. It is pretty awesome. Now, of course, that uses all hard plastic, but it's an animated look, it's stylized. I think that works fine with the DC Collectibles stuff. But for a more realistic figure, I'm really glad that they've gone with this solid figure with, you know, just one piece of fabric on top. I think that's a good balance. There is a slightly cheaper version of this, but I think if you're going to pay that much for a figure anyway, you might as well get the ultimate version, which comes with these extra weapons and swords. Even though I haven't played the game, I look at these swords and they're very nicely designed, and I sort of recognize them from promotional arts and his other appearances, so I decided to take the plunge and get the more expensive version that makes him feel more complete. In terms of the other accessories, the extra hands are pretty decent, the extra facial expressions are also pretty good as well. So overall, while this is a bit on the expensive side, this is a very good Dante figure. If you're a big Devil May Cry fan, you definitely want to consider picking this one up, the special edition. If you just sort of like Dante and you're not too bothered about the extra accessories, the standard edition is quite a lot cheaper actually, and it's worth it as well. Overall, if you like this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already, you can subscribe and stay tuned for more action figure reviews. And I do wonder what this company is going to release next. I'm going to take a look. So, because I'm quite interested in the quality of their figure right here, and if they were to release and license other characters I enjoy, I might consider picking one or two more from this company. It is a little bit more on the expensive side, so I'm not going to pick up that many of these. It has to be a character that I'll just go like, snap, that looks really awesome, before I consider picking it up. So please leave a comment below how you feel about this figure, or the older NECA Dante if you have that. As always, you can support this channel via Patreon or share my videos with other people. But most importantly, take care and have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now.